Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast where we discuss everything that your inner nerd loves. This is the Nerds Awaken. For our first episode, we are going to discuss Marvel's highly anticipated movie, Captain America Civil War. I'm Grayson, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Aiden.
Hello, I am here. Alright,
Okay.
Without further ado, let's kick it off.
Yeah, let's do
Alright,
this.
so, Captain America Civil War. It'll come out in May 2016? May what?
Yeah, May 6th.
May
May
6th?
6th, 2016.
May 6th, okay. And
Yeah.
what is the plot of the movie?
The movie begins with Captain America leading a new team of Avengers around the world stopping threats. Unfortunately, one stop on their tour leads to an international incident involving a good deal of collateral damage. So, mounting political pressure results in a regulation that will force superheroes to register with the government. But while some individuals are on board with this idea, others aren't. This leads to a clash of the titans where heroes aren't fighting villains, but instead other heroes.
Just like, it's similar to the comics in the sense that an incident happens and it causes the Registration Act to be, try to be passed.
Exactly.
Which we don't know what the incident is yet going to be in the movie, but in the comics it was with the New Warriors, right?
Exactly.
And they were trying to stop some bad guys, and one of them blew up and killed a whole bunch of people, and everyone freaked out. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Around 600 people were killed.
yes,
Several of them were children, seeing as the incident took place near an elementary school.
yeah, right. And so we don't know if we're gonna see something like that in the movie, but
Well-
what do you think?
From what we've seen already and from what we already know, what I believe is going to be this major incident that happens in the movie is Captain America and his new Avengers. They travel to, I believe it's Wakanda, where to stop Crossbones.
Crossbones,
Uh-huh.
right.
Exactly. And I believe there's some sort of bomb involved, and Scarlet Witch tries to lift the bomb from the premises with her power, but she's too late. The bomb still goes off. There's tons of collateral damage, and it's an international incident because it's in Wakanda, and that's what starts all this madness with the Accords. Like we've seen in the we've been introduced to the Accords in the end credit scene in Ant-Man, with Falcon and Captain America finally finding Bucky
Yes,
after all this time.
the Wakanda incident, that would explain how Black Panther gets involved,
Exactly,
which ties in.
because if everybody remembers from the comics, T'Challa remains neutral in this conflict. He is approached by Tony Stark to join his side of the war, but T'Challa has other concerns. He has a country to rule, so he just decides to stay in his lane, so to speak,
Right.
and not get involved. And initially, when we first heard of Black Panther being introduced into the Civil War movie, we thought that he was going to take over the role of Spider-Man in the comics. He had a pivotal role due to him unmasking himself publicly.
Right.
And we thought that was sort of what Black Panther would do in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He would be the centerpiece.
Right, but we
Oh,
barely
this-
saw
yeah.
anything about him.
Exactly, but what we saw was very one-sided. He looks to be in Iron Man's side. What we know is that Black Panther is hunting the Winter Soldier.
Right, at least that's all we know.
That's all we know.
Also, as you said, one-sided. The trailer is actually, if you look at it, it's very one-sided.
I think so too.
It shows mostly Iron Man's side. Why? Because it shows everything bad happening to him.
Yes, exactly. When we first saw the lineups for each side, everybody believed that Iron Man's side would overpower Captain America's side because Iron Man had Black Panther and Vision and War Machine.
Right.
And himself. And Captain America had Falcon and Winter Soldier and Agent 13, and of course Hawkeye and Ant-Man. But clearly, the scales were tipped over to Iron Man's side with Vision and Black Panther, as we already know. They're two powerhouses in their own categories.
Yeah, but then Scarlet Witch was introduced into Cap's team.
Exactly, but as we saw from the initial promotional art, she wasn't introduced in the lineup, in the first lineup. But then eventually they ended up including her as well. So that balances a lot, because referring to a certain promotional art where both sides are fighting each other, friend versus friend, Iron Man versus Captain America, Black Panther versus Bucky, we see Scarlet Witch fighting Vision, and she seems to be successfully deflecting Vision's attack, which comes directly from the soul gem on his forehead.
Yes.
So that sort of gives us a glimpse of what Scarlet Witch can really do, how powerful she really is.
Which brings us to the next topic, the roles of each character, and let's go over who's on what side real quick. So, on Captain America's team we have Bucky, the Winter Soldier, we have Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Ant-Man, and anyone else?
No, that's all of them. I believe that's all of them.
Yeah. So, first of all, Bucky is obviously, he's on Cap's side because, Captain America is showing him, who he really is. He's making him remember who he is after the events of Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Hawkeye would be on his side. I don't really know exactly why he chose his side, but I'm sure it's just because he was part of the New Avengers. And he feels more leaning towards that side of the more of the freedom, the no registration. Scarlet Witch, probably the same thing, because she was captured with her brother.
Exactly. Yeah, true.
She was in captivity and she had to be controlled and all that, and she probably didn't want to have that again. Falcon is very loyal to Captain America, so I don't think.
Know.
Yeah, he would never join, Iron Man's side, from what we've seen.
Exactly.
And Ant-Man, well, we're not even sure, because...
Well, from what I've read, Ant-Man seems to be a very big fan of Captain America.
Right. And he had a meeting with Falcon in the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe Falcon gets in contact with him and, asks him, like, hey, you actually, pretty good at what you do. And you might
use your help.
Yeah, we could use your help with this, and then one thing leads to another. And also, we may be seeing him as Giant Man, from what I've heard.
Yeah, exactly. There was the Funko Pops that were released. One of them was Giant Man. Was for Giant Man.
Yeah. So that shows
that could be saying something.
Exactly. Because like what we saw with the first Avengers movie, with some of them. It showed some of the characters, like what was going to happen. Like Hulk, it had like the red-eyed, like mind-controlled Hulk.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So it's probably a similar thing. And also, it
exactly.
had Hank for the Ant-Man movie. It had a Hank Pym's Ant-Man costume,
which technically is the one that Scott ended up wearing.
Yes.
Now for the Civil War movie, he gets a slight upgrade in his look. A bit more modern, a bit more technological.
Yes, which should be cool. So,
yeah.
And then for Team Stark, or Iron Man, whatever you want, we have Black Panther, Black Widow, Vision, War Machine, and pretty much the entire government, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, first of all, Black Panther, we already said, probably because the incident in Wakanda would make him want to have that registration passed to have more control, so people wouldn't come blowing up his stuff again,
Exactly.
And then Black Widow is, I don't know about Black Widow.
Some say she may be a spy for
Sort of thing.
Captain America. She may be a double agent because there is a rumor that there is going to be a double agent on one of the teams, and of course, she being the spy, everybody is supposing that it's going to be Black Widow. Some say that it's also going to be the Vision. Vision may see the error of Stark's ways and revert to Captain America's side.
Because, well, that would actually make sense because the Vision, you can see him being on Iron Man's side because, you know, he created him basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he used to be Jarvis. So, you know, that loyalty to his master sort of thing, but then he gets his own has his own conscience now, so he's basically just a human. So he has normal emotions and everything, so he knows what's wrong, what's right, and he figures out, you know, Iron Man's ways are wrong.
Yeah.
And as for War Machine, that one's pretty obvious. He's a, again, very loyal friend to Iron Man. Which I was thinking for maybe Black Widow too, because she, you know, in Iron Man 2, she got, you know, she was kind of close to Tony.
She was kind of, exactly. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Very true.
The biggest mystery in this movie clearly is Spider-Man, because as we already know, he's going to have more than just a cameo. He is going to have a fight scene in the Civil War movie. We don't know with who. We don't know which side he is on, but a new rumor is going around that he may be recruited to Iron Man's side.
Right.
Because seeing as Tony has access to all the intel he desires from SHIELD, from the government, it only makes sense that he would keep tabs on new heroes popping up, and we already know that by the time Civil War comes around, Spider-Man will have been Spider-Man for about a year, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So he's already pretty much settled in, and well, it would make sense for Spider-Man to be recruited to Iron Man's side because from what we've heard from this new rumor that's going around is that Spider-Man grew up with Iron Man being one of his idols, so it makes sense.
And again, that's something that would tie into the comics as well, because that's how it was in the beginning.
Exactly, and that ended up with Iron Man creating the Iron Spider suit for Spider-Man. I'm sorry, and we could also see that in the movie because, again, from what we've heard, Spider-Man is going to have a suit that is made by him and another suit that is going to be given to him by Iron Man.
Is that what it says? Is it from Iron Man?
Yeah, it says that Iron Man is going to build him a new suit.
Now, this is what I'm thinking with that rumor is because, you know, we know that the Tom Holland Spider-Man, you know, like you said, the year before, and we know that his first costume is that, like, hoodie thing, right?
Exactly.
It's that spider hoodie thing. So his new costume built by Iron Man might not be like an Iron Spider costume. It might be like just like a spider costume, like full on, not just like, you know, hipster like his hoodie thing. So more.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be the Iron Spider suit per se, because that suit was like literally if Iron Man and Spider-Man like combined their own suits, because it had repulsor beams and it had a stealth mode.
It could fly.
It could fly, and it had the robotic tentacles. But I don't think that's what we're gonna see in the movie. I think we're just gonna see Iron Man giving Spider-Man an upgrade on his costume. Maybe throw in a new, like maybe it's going to be vibranium laced. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be the Iron Spider suit. We could see that along the line, but I don't think it's going to happen in the Civil War movie.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the other mysteries in the movie we've seen nothing about him is Baron Zemo.
Right, which we've been told that he's going to appear, but
exactly,
absolutely nothing to do with him has shown up. So
All that we know is that he's going to be in the movie. He's going to be played by Daniel Bruhl. That's pretty much it. We from what I've heard, we will probably not going to see him wearing his purple mask.
Which, in the comics, it is like part of his face, if I'm not mistaken. He can't take it off.
It is part of his face. In the comics, some chemicals were spilled on him. The chemical was called Adhesive X, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And that caused the mask to be permanently attached to his face.
Right. So, I don't know. So maybe maybe something like that will happen in the Civil War movie. Maybe the mask thing will happen, but...
Yeah, we'll never know.
Do you think, he'll be as old as he is in the comics? Like, he's like hundreds of years old or whatever.
That is true. Well, I don't think so, because there has been more than one Baron Zemo.
Right.
In the comics. I think just like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when we saw the Von Strucker kid, I think that's what we're going to be seeing in the Civil War movie. Maybe this Baron Zemo is a descendant of the original Baron Zemo.
Yeah, and maybe it'll have like a flashback to during the war, Captain America fighting him or something.
Yeah, we could see that. Okay, next topic on the Civil War is Captain America going to die in the movie? As we do know, he did die in the comics. He was shot by crossbones. Who is going to be in the movie? So, is Captain America going to die in the movie?
I don't know. Maybe like, because does he really die in the comic? I think pretty sure he gets shot, and then it's like, like a Nick Fury sort of deal. Like what happened before with Nick Fury is he died. He was actually not dead, just very severely injured. And but what Captain America did in the comics is he made sure that no one knew he was alive for a while to end the Civil War.
As we know, if everybody read the comics, in the aftermath of Civil War, Captain America was taken into S.H.I.E.L.D. custody. That's when he was supposedly assassinated by Crossbones, which was an order given to Crossbones by the Red Skull. In the movie universe, he just disappeared.
Right. So maybe we'll see a return of Red Skull or something. I don't know.
And then after the death of Captain America, Bucky hunts down Tony Stark and tries to kill him because he blames him for Captain America's death. And as we've seen in one of the trailers for Civil War, we do have a fight scene between just Winter Soldier and Iron Man. And from what I've seen online, just that one glimpse of just that one close-up of Bucky, it looks like he's mouthing the words "Steve's dead." That generated a bit of a spark amongst people online. And if Steve ends up dying in the movies, like he did in the comics, and Bucky took over the mantle of Captain America after the death of Steve Rogers. Steve wrote Bucky a letter asking him to pick up the mantle and continue his duties as Captain America.
Yes. Do you think Bucky will become Captain America? Or do you think Falcon will?
If Captain America ends up dying, we don't necessarily need to have another Captain America, because in the comics, Captain America definitely represents something huge. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and from even Thunderbolt Ross refers to Captain America as a vigilante.
Yeah, he's not as much symbolized as a hero.
Exactly, he doesn't cause that much impact as a hero, rather as a vigilante. So that's why I think it's not that important for there to be a Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if Marvel did want to go down that road, I think it would make more sense for Bucky to pick up the mantle. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think that Captain America is going to die? Do you think that if he dies, it's going to be Bucky taking over, or is it going to be Falcon? Uh, Give us your thoughts. Share with us your thoughts on this movie, your theories, and everything. So, we've reached the end of our first episode. We hope that you enjoyed listening to us, and stay tuned for our next episode next week.
Yes, please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, all that good stuff.